Hey everyone. In technical writing, finding the right tools is kind of a big deal, right?
Oh yeah, it can make all the difference.
So today we're gonna dive deep into RoboHelp.
Okay. Sound good.
We're really lucky to be working with some great insights from Curt Robbins.
Yeah.
He's a senior technical writer and he's worked with like some pretty big names.
Oh yeah. FedEx, Microsoft, even Wells
Yeah.
Fargo, right?
Yeah, exactly. So he really knows his stuff.
For sure.
And it's interesting. RoboHelp itself has like this really long history, kind of like mirrors our field in a way.
That's true. It goes way back, even before the modern web as we know it, like back to the days of WinHelp
Mental
files.
files, wow.
Yeah, 1991.
1991. That's going back a bit.
It is.
I mean, think about it. Like from those early files to HTML help and now responsive HTML5.
It's amazing.
That's a lot of change.
I think that really shows how committed RoboHelp is to, staying relevant, which is so important, especially in tech.
Oh, absolutely. When you invest in a tool,
Yeah.
you want to know it's going to keep up. So let's get into it. What are some of the big features that would really matter to our listeners? People in technical writing, documentation, that kind of thing.
Right. Well, instead of just listing everything, let's focus on what solves problems. Like, think about multi-channel publishing.
Okay, yeah. Multi-channel publishing.
You work hard on your documentation, and RoboHelp makes it so easy to share it everywhere.
Makes sense.
PDFs, websites, even like mobile-friendly stuff.
All from the same source.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I remember back in the day when I was juggling like different versions for each platform.
Right. It was a nightmare. And then there's responsive design.
Okay, so this is like making sure the content looks good on any screen size.
Yes. So you create the content once, and RoboHelp does the magic.
Okay.
It adjusts to different screen sizes automatically.
So is it using something like CSS media queries to make that happen?
You got it. That's exactly how it works.
Clever. That's a huge time saver.
Yeah.
Now, what about collaboration? That's always a trickle part of the job. How does RoboHealth handle that?
Yeah, good point. They've got some really helpful features for that, like version control.
Okay, version control.
So everyone's always working on the latest version.
That makes sense. So you don't end up with a bunch of conflicting edits and stuff.
Exactly. It's like a safety net.
Yeah.
And then there's shade authoring.
Oh, right. Shared authoring. What does that look like in RoboHelp?
It basically means multiple people can work on the same document at the same time.
Really?
Yeah. But, in a controlled way, so it's not chaos.
Wow. That sounds amazing for big projects.
It's a game changer.
But let's be real. Every tool has its downsides.
Yeah, for sure.
So what are some of the things about RoboHelp that our listeners should, be aware of?
Well, honestly, one of the biggest ones is probably the cost.
Yeah, that's always a factor.
Especially for smaller teams or startups, it can be a significant investment.
I see.
So you really have to weigh the benefits against the price.
Right. You have to make sure it makes sense for your budget.
Exactly. And then there's the learning curve.
Okay. So this means it's not like super intuitive right out of the box.
Well, the basic stuff is pretty easy to pick up, but some of the more advanced features, like conditional content or scripting, those can take some time to master.
So for someone who's just starting out with RoboHelp, where should they begin?
My advice, start small.
Good advice.
Don't try to learn everything at once.
Yeah.
Pick a small project, get comfortable with the basics, and then you can, gradually explore those more advanced features.
That makes sense.
And there are tons of resources online, too. Tutorials, documentation, even a whole community of users.
Oh, wow. So there's a lot of support out there if you need it.
Definitely.
That's good to know. So we talked about some of the potential downsides, but I mean, RoboHelp must have some pretty strong points too, right? What are some of the things that make it really stand out?
I think one of the biggest strengths is its versatility. So it can handle all sorts of documentation needs. Simple user guides, complex online help systems, even like knowledge bases.
Wow, so it's pretty adaptable.
It really is. And then there's the customization.
Oh, custom.
You can really tailor the output to match your company's style.
That's important.
You have control over fonts, colors, layouts, you name it.
So you can make it look really professional and polished.
Exactly. And of course, there's the fact that Adobe, they keep RoboHelp updated.
Yeah, that's crucial.
Especially in the tech world, things are changing so fast.
Right. You need a tool that can keep up.
And RoboHelp does a good job of that.
So it seems like RoboHelp has a lot to offer, and we're really just scratching the surface here.
Yeah, we are.
But before we go any deeper, let's talk about how RoboHelp tackles the review and feedback process, because that can be a real headache sometimes.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah.
But you know what? RoboHelp actually makes it a lot smoother. Imagine you've just finished a big, complex document. Now you need feedback from all sorts of people. Subject matter experts, editors, stakeholders, everyone.
Ugh, that can be a nightmare.
Uh,
Emails flying back and forth, different versions. It's
oh,
confusing.
all right. But with RoboHelp, reviewers can actually add comments directly within the document.
Oh, wow. So it's all in one place.
Exactly. No more messy email chains. And you can assign different roles to different reviewers.
Okay, that makes sense. So you can control who has access to what.
Exactly. It streamlines the whole process, and then, there's single sourcing.
Single sourcing. Okay, I've heard that term, but to be honest, I'm not exactly sure what it means.
It basically means you create content once, and then you can reuse it across different outputs.
So like if you need a user guide and an online help system and a knowledge base article,
Yes.
all on the same topic, you don't have to start from scratch every time.
Nope. You just create these content modules, and you can reuse them wherever you need them.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this could be really powerful.
It is, and if you need to update something,
Yeah.
you just change it once, and it updates everywhere.
No more like copying and pasting and trying to keep everything in sync.
Exactly. It saves so much time and prevents errors.
That's amazing. So it's really about working smarter, not harder.
Absolutely. And it all ties back to multi-channel publishing.
Right.
You create the content once, and then RoboHelp helps you deliver it to all sorts of platforms.
It's about reaching your audience, wherever they are.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about something that's really important for software documentation: integration with source code.
Okay, this sounds interesting. How does RoboHelp connect with source code?
Well, one of the biggest challenges with software documentation is keeping it up to date with the code.
Yeah, that makes sense. Things are always changing.
Right. But RoboHelp actually lets you connect directly to source code repositories.
Okay. So you can link your documentation to the actual code itself.
Exactly. And you can even insert code snippets into your documentation.
Oh, wow. So it's not just like static text. It's actually connected to the live code.
Yeah. And when the code changes, the documentation updates automatically.
That's incredible. That way you know the documentation is always accurate.
Exactly. And it even goes beyond code snippets. You can also create dynamic links between your documentation and specific parts of the code.
So if the user needs more information, they can jump right to the relevant section of the code.
Exactly. It creates this really seamless connection between the documentation and the code. And then, of course, there's search functionality.
Oh yeah, search. That's so important.
Absolutely. But RoboHelp doesn't just do basic keyword search. It lets you create these sophisticated search indexes.
Okay.
You can add synonyms, related terms, even conceptual relationships between topics.
So it's like it understands what the user is really looking for, even if they don't use the exact right words.
Exactly.
That's impressive. So it seems like RoboHelp really does have a lot to offer, from the basic stuff to some really advanced features.
It does.
I'm really starting to see how powerful it can be. And I'm sure our listeners are getting a lot out of this.
I hope so.
But before we wrap up, let's connect all this back to, the real world.
Okay.
How can our listeners, people in technical writing, documentation, how can they actually use RoboHelp to make their lives easier?
Right. Well, think about the challenges you face every day. You're writing about complex stuff, you have tight deadlines, and everyone wants a piece of your time.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. It can be overwhelming sometimes.
I know. But what we've been talking about today is how RoboHelp can help you tackle those challenges.
I see.
One thing that's really powerful in RoboHelp is conditional content.
Okay, conditional content.
It's especially helpful when you're creating documentation for different users or different product versions.
I've heard of it, but it always sounded kind of complicated.
It's actually not as bad as it sounds. So imagine you're writing documentation for, say, a software product.
Okay.
And it has different editions, right?
Right. Different features, different levels, that kind of thing.
Exactly. So instead of making a separate document for each edition,
Yeah.
you can use RoboHelp to create one document and then use these things called conditional tags.
Okay, conditional tags.
They basically control what content gets shown.
So based on which edition the user has.
Yeah, exactly. Or their user role or even their operating system, whatever makes sense for your documentation.
So it's like the document adapts to who's reading it.
Yep. It's really flexible, and it saves you a ton of time and effort.
That makes sense. No more juggling a bunch of different files.
Yeah.
So, okay, you mentioned output presets.
Oh, yeah. Those are really cool too.
How do those work with conditional content?
So basically, you can define different output presets for different situations.
Like one preset for a PDF, another for an online help system, something like that.
Exactly. And each preset can like inherit the conditional logic from your main document.
So it all stays consistent no matter the format.
Yep, it's all automatic. Now, getting a bit more technical, there's also extensibility.
Okay, extensibility. That sounds pretty advanced.
It's basically about, pushing RoboHelp even further.
How so?
Well, it has a really powerful API and it supports scripting.
Yeah.
So you can actually like build custom features.
So it's not just a closed system. You can actually make it do more.
Exactly. You can automate tasks, create reports, even integrate it with other tools.
Wow, that's pretty powerful stuff. So it's really adaptable to like different workflows.
Yeah, it's really versatile. Now, one more thing I wanted to touch on is accessibility.
Accessibility, okay.
Yeah,
That's obviously really important for making sure everyone can use the documentation.
absolutely. And RoboHelp actually does a great job here. It follows all those like industry standards, things like WCAG,
Okay.
and it has built-in features to help you make your content accessible.
So it's not just about like knowing the rules, it's actually giving you the tools to do it right.
Exactly. It helps you with things like alt text for images, making sure tables are accessible, all that stuff.
So it's really about building accessibility into the process from the start.
That's the idea. So, we've covered a lot of ground with RoboHelp.
We really have. And, a huge thank you to Curt Robbins. His insights have been incredibly helpful. And to everyone listening, remember, RoboHelp is a tool,
That's right.
but it's a powerful one. And ultimately, it's up to you to use it effectively.
You're the ones creating the documentation after all.
Exactly. So take what you've learned, explore, experiment, and see how RoboHelp can help you make your documentation even better. So until next time, keep diving deep, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep those words flowing.
Yes. Happy writing, everyone.